Hello, beautiful being. Oneness Evolving here in my lounge because it's raining outside. And I should have pulled the curtains up before I started because I want to show you the view. So bear with me. I'm just going to do this while the live gets itself established on Facebook and give my husband time to share it out. You know how it goes. So let me turn the camera around. I just want to show you this is the view. Obviously the window is wet, but you can see the cherry tree is being beautiful. And you can see that cineraria down there, which was just starting before. I know it's blurry, but it's now more obviously a cineraria. And yeah, the cherry tree is lovely. It's beautiful out there. Cold and wet. The wind is blowing from the south, but I wanted you to see this. So let me turn the camera around. I'm going to go and sit down and put it in its little stand. And I'm going to show you a rock. It's the other thing I do when it's raining, while the live gets itself bedded in, as I sit myself down here, and I'm going to show you a couple of rocks. Just quickly, because I like to share beauty before I get into talking about what I want to talk about, which is what I've been writing today for God of Me. And as usual, it's been a really cool transmission. I really had to overcome my body. More about that later. I had a big attack of the sleepies. But I'm going to start with this. And I actually picked this rock today because it is tetrahedron. Well, it's tetrahedron, right? I don't even know its proper name. But this is fluorite, and it's white on the top and green on the bottom. And it's just a natural crystal, which is the shape, and I enjoy that. The shape is pretty important to me because it's so resonant with a lot of things that exist in the universe. And because I'm kind of into the fundamental structure of matter and things in the universe, because I find that makes life much more livable for me, I'm kind of cool with this shape. So that's fluorite. And this, of course, is just a big old piece of very polished quartz. It's one of the first crystals I bought, actually. At Christopher's for Crystals in Cuba Street, Wellington. For those who happen to remember that shop. He was the first guy who did crystals in Wellington before it became this thing where you could buy them everywhere. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful crystal. It's very transparent. It's got this lovely sort of fracture plane that runs through the middle. And yeah, I enjoy this rock. So I just wanted to share this with you. You can actually see me through it. Hello. So what I was writing today, and I was like, for goodness sake, can I please go and have a cup of cocoa, because cocoa has caffeine in it and it would have helped me wake up. And I really felt the 0 point field say to me, look, I would rather that you stayed with this and let me work with you and your body as it is. And it was hard for a while because I was just so damn sleepy and not particularly tired, just really sleepy. And I just kept battling through it, and it was slow, and I thought, God, am I going to get anything written? Am I going to have anything to tell you? But perhaps to my surprise, apparently I do. And, you know, it probably took an hour or so, but it started to ease off. And it was just this moment that I had of thinking, what, you mean that was resistance? Was my body throwing up resistance about something that it didn't want to do? I don't know. Anyway, so I really had the sleepies, and I really had to just keep overcoming it and say, no, I'm going to keep going. So last week, the 0 point field explained deeper, more about connection and how everything is connected, and so instantly, so quickly. When one proton in the universe gets new information, to us it's instant. There is actually a very small amount of time that elapses, but all of the other protons in the universe know instantly. They just do. And we talked a little bit about that last week. I'm sure that will be more explained later. It wasn't the point that the 0 point field was wanting to make last week. But the point is that all the information in the universe is shared. And it's available to us if we know how. And, we're human, right? And there's stuff I know and there's stuff I don't know. What are you saying that all this information is available to me? And while some people may think, well, what do you mean information? That's not very exciting. I need money or I need food or whatever. But if you think of information as being energy, because you cannot have information without energy actually, that puts a different slant on it. So anyway, there's so much more that the 0 point field wants to explain, but this is this week's download. In fact, it's a translation. I don't want to say it's a download. These are thoughts, these are ideas, and between us, we kind of wrestle them into something that hopefully makes sense, because it is confusing. It's confusing being human. Anyway, let me just read what I wrote. I've got a little thingy here about, what I want to share with you. So let me get into it. So, really, the 0 point field started by saying, okay, so we're intimately connected and everything's cool and there's all this information. Who cares? In other words, why does it matter? Why should you bother? What's the point? And the explanation next kind of was, oh, this is beautiful. And it would be much easier if I had it in front of me, but I'm going to read this, as I always do. I'm going to read this and record it completely and put it up on my Patreon. So if you'd like to hear me read this properly and hear how beautifully the 0 point field explains this, then all you need to do is click the link in the description below and follow me for free, and you'll be able to do that in a couple of days when I get the video up. So the point is that, human limitation, we see human limitation as being a limitation, and it's generally bad. I'm hungry, I don't have enough food, I'm sick, I'm lonely, I want a better job, whatever it is. We feel limited, we feel stuck, we can't, whatever, it's not happening. And the 0 point field has been explaining to us how it and us, we're basically the same. We're made of the same stuff. We have the same fundamental structure patterning all the matter in our bodies. It doesn't matter whether you look at a proton or the things that make up the proton or the things that the protons make up, which is, the same pattern is everywhere. And there's so much more to explain about the pattern, but the 0 point field isn't doing that yet. The point is that we're all made of the same stuff and we all have the same pattern. The only real difference between you and me and the 0 point field is, wait for it, our awareness. Because the 0 point field has infinite mind. It's in a moment, it knows everything. Everything ever was, everything ever will be, completely known. And not like the pages in a book. The whole book, in a moment, in its mind. And, all the books ever written, all the learning and the experiences ever happened on planet Earth, all the learning experience that's ever happened with all the sentient beings in the entire universe for the whole of time, there in the 0 point field. That's unlimited mind. And here we are, we're saying, the 0 point field is saying, you're the same as me. And we're all thinking, what are you talking about? I'm not the same as you. I've got this really limited mind. There's a whole lot of stuff I don't know. What are you going on about? And so there is this explanation of why this is useful, why this is even actually good. Are you kidding me? Well, the thing is, to have that unlimited mind, you have to be in 5D. You have to be outside of time. You can't have a body, you can't have an experience, and if you remember from last week or the week before, whenever it was we talked about it, you can't learn anything. You can't have a new experience. You know it all now. In order to learn something, there has to be a before and an after. Hello? We are privileged because we can have experience and we can learn and we can make choices. You can't have a choice if there's no before and after. So we are here having this experience. in order to have this experience, we had to surrender our unlimited mind. We came from that. We had to surrender our unlimited mind to become human. You can't have a human with an unlimited mind. It just doesn't work. To have the experience, the evolution, the growth, the learning, or whatever it is that a person creates, you can't have unlimited mind. It doesn't work. So, that's the first function of human experience, is you've got to surrender your unlimited mind, choose a limited mind, and come into 3D. And to do that, you have to choose a pattern. Because remember, we think, oh, I'm human and I broadcast a field and I have thoughts and feelings, and you can measure that, and that is true. But matter is a result of a frequency that organizes energy into matter. That's actually what the physicists and the maths are showing us. So if it's frequency, which gives rise to this, then in order to become human, to make a choice to emerge into this dimension as a human being, I had to say, all right, I have to stop being the pattern of love and limitless mind and knowing everything, and I have to choose a pattern which is less than perfect, less than complete, so that it can outpicture the life in 3D that I actually want to choose to experience, because there's some things I want to figure out. As a soul, I want to evolve. Well, these are my challenges. And these are the things that I'm going to enjoy, and these are the things I'm going to be good at, and these are the things that are going to be really hard, and all of that. This is what I truly know in my soul to be what we do. And this is what the 0 point field said. You got to surrender your unlimited mind, and you have to choose a pattern if you're going to be human. Because you got to have something, a frequency that's going to give rise to the matter of your body and the people around you and your life. That's a 5D pattern, which outpictures in 3D. And yet at the same time, this was the profound thing, you don't stop being 5D because you have an expression in this place. You're not there or here. You're actually both. And more than that, even more than that, you're not just here in this lifetime and in there being unlimited mind. The 0 point field didn't go further, but my own experiences, and I know this will be explained later, that we are, I don't have words for how many of me there are. It's kind of like riffling through an endless Rolodex, and everybody in the Rolodex is you. Or going to a hall of mirrors, and every one of those mirrors has got you in it. You know, the two mirrors that are opposite you in a dressing room? Every single one of those is a different you, having a different experience. I mean, that's the truth that I find to be real. So, we choose limitation, and we choose one of those iterations of self to say, we're going to have that when we're down here. And whatever we think about it when we're down here in it, we very lovingly and purposefully, and I'll say it again, lovingly chose that for ourselves. We knew what the hard things would be, and we also knew that those things are things that we just have to overcome before we can move on, before we can evolve. It's not about learning lessons or being punished. It's about, I as a soul have to evolve past this. I just have to. And so we come in here to do that again sometimes. And sometimes we get it, you know, we make some more progress, or sometimes we screw it up completely. Who knows? But in the whole of eternity, what else are you going to do? So anyway, we come into 3D, we surrender our unlimited mind, and so all of that 5D information, you know, everything for the whole of time and all the sentient beings that ever were, will be, and all of that, goes away. It's not accessible to us anymore. That, I believe, simply isn't true now. I experience that this is not true. This is no longer my daily experience, because I know how to access that information. I don't always get it right. I'm not always fast at it. In fact, I'm not really very fast at it at all, but I know how to do it. So I know that this information is available to us. And the point is that, and you remember maybe last week, you remember that we were talking about pretending that the 0-point field exists at the scale of the proton, and you and I, we exist at the scale of the PSU, and then we said, okay, the PSU, because the proton is made of PSUs, and there's a very large number of PSUs in a proton, and if we say that a PSU is the size of a grain of sand, then the proton reaches from planet Earth to the star Alpha Centauri, and it's freaking huge, and it's completely full of grains of sand, and that's a lot of grains of sand, right? So it's going to be pretty hard for the grain of sand to even know that the proton exists. But we talked about it. The 0-point field explained to us that when one of those grains of sand has an epiphany and sends out information, all of the others get that information straight away. All of the information is shared. It's all available somehow, somewhere in that massive thing. And that's a bit like it is with us in our universe. We are all connected. Because remember, just like all the little PSUs are connected inside one proton, this is a fractal pattern. You know what that means? It means that all of the protons are connected in our entire universe. And the math has been done to show that the information of the entire universe exists in one proton. Just one! All you have to do is know how to go inside one proton inside your own body, for want of a better target, it could be anywhere, and say, okay, all of the information is in here. There must be a way to access it. And it is. I know, because I keep doing it. So, we're not separate from all the information we desire in our lives. We really are not. You just got to know how. And this is what the 0-point field wants to teach us. You know, I mean, it's teaching me. And if it can teach me, then between us, we ought to be able to share that information with you too. Hi, Augusta, lovely to see you. We should be able to teach you how to access that information yourself. Because that's the name of the game. Why should you be dependent on anybody? I mean, it's great to share. It's great to work with community and be with people and help each other and all of that. But it's all within you. So then the next piece of the 0-point field is explaining is that, you know, here I am, I'm just like you. I have aha moments and I share the information. I can't help it. I mean, you know, we have an aha moment. We got to tell somebody. What we don't realize is that in a way we tell everybody. And the 0-point field does that too. And so you might think, well, how is it that some people get it and other people don't? And it's a little bit like, you know, you have a phone and it works on 4G but not 5G. It's tuned to one frequency bandwidth but not another. And so the 0-point field explains this. And it says, he, she, it says, you know, if you have two people and they're good friends and they're working together, they're thinking together, they're having the same thoughts, they're doing the same things, they're working on the same project, they're aligning their minds, you know, there's a commonality of purpose and they share the same feeling. And then later the 0-point field says, okay, I want to be a bit more specific about that. And, you know, a feeling is actually a thing that you feel in your body, whether it's hot or cold or pain or pleasure or whatever it is a physical sensation. And you are going to have a thought about that, whether you like it or not like it. I mean, if it is, you know, if it's something you notice, you'll have a thought about it. You might not even notice yourself having a thought about it, but you'll have a thought about it. And you know, when you have a thought about something, you always have a feeling that goes with it too. So thoughts and feelings, they go together. And thoughts can be measured. And different thoughts have different frequencies. And the reason why there are people you like to hang out with is because they think the same thoughts and they feel the same feelings as you. Otherwise, why would you hang out with them? You don't really like people who think different thoughts and feel different feelings. You know, if you're an angry person, you tend to like to hang out with other people who like to be reactive and angry and whatever. And if you're a happy person, you don't like to hang out with angry people. If you're a sad person and you really want to feel sad, you will find other people to feel sad with. That's just what we do. So, and that's about frequency. And you know the person that walks into the room and you just know, you can feel it, and you don't know why you know, but you can feel, man, they're in a really bad way. I think I'll just steer away. It's frequency. And so, you know, have you ever tried to tell a screaming child how to calm down? It doesn't work, does it? Because the frequency that they're in and the way their brain is working, they're not listening. They are not open to information about calming down. They have to calm down, and then they're open to information about being calm and doing something they can enjoy when they're calm. And it's the same. A 0-point field has all this information for us. All that information is there, but we got to be on the right frequency to receive it. Really simple. So there's the pattern of love, which is perfect. And we don't stop being that just because we choose a pattern to come down here and have a 3D experience. That is another thing, you know. We think, oh, I must be this or I'm that. You know, I'm here in humanity and I'm not being 5D anymore. No, we're both. This is a really, you know, does your head in until you sort of start to get to grips with it. We're in 5D, all of us, right now, lovingly patterning our lives into exactly the shape that they are in, because this is what it is that helps us to evolve and grow. And you might be listening to me and thinking, what the hell are you talking about? My life is not helping me to evolve and grow right now. My life is shit. It's been really hard. I'm really resentful. I'm really angry. I'm in a lot of pain, or whatever it is. But the invitation when things are challenging is, well, what are you going to do? Are you just going to keep being a victim to that, or are you going to make a different choice than you did last time and find a different way to be in response to this? This is the thing. Humans have a choice. We often think we don't when life is really hard. So what do you mean? Of course I feel like shit. My life is really hard. Yeah, but there are other people whose lives are really hard and they make a different choice and they don't feel like shit, even when life is really hard. So that can't be a reason to feel like shit. On some level, we make a choice. So, you know, it's really challenging. I face the same choices. So there's that 5D pattern out there, and most of us are not aware that to emerge into human experience, we had to let go of our unlimited awareness, take on limited awareness, and that we chose a 5-dimensional pattern, a thing that exists in the 0-point field, which resonates and outpictures our experience into 3D reality here. That pattern is vastly more powerful. Hi, Mike. It's vastly more powerful than anything. We can use our thoughts and feelings and our awareness to change that pattern. And I know, because I'm doing this every day and it actually works. And this is what the 0-point field is explaining, wants to explain. There's so much more, but we ran out of time. So the key message is we are not 3D or 5D. We are both and much, much more. But if we can learn, because it is a skill, how to first recognize even just a little piece or a little aspect of that resonance that is outpicturing my experience in life, and change that. If we understand that that is what's creating it, then you change that, this changes. And it does. That's the insane thing. It just keeps happening. And it kind of surprises me every time. It really isn't matter that is immutable and immovable and like a bloody mountain that you bang your head on and you just split your head open. It's not that. It's us. It's us. When we change that frequency, which in 5D is resonating and creating our 3D experience, when we change that, 3D responds instantly. And I keep seeing it. What takes the time is for us to figure out how to do that. And part of that process, part of that experience, when we learn how to do that, is all of that information that is in the unified field, the 0 point field, it's totally available. That's what the connection is for. The whole point of us connecting with the 0 point field or God or the divine or source or whatever name you want to call it is because we don't have to be separate from all of that power and all of that information and all of that understanding and all of that knowing about who we are and how we fit here and how vital we are here to everything and how everything is vital to us and how we're all so connected. We don't have to be separate from all of that anymore. It changes everything for me to know this now. And I don't mean know here, I mean I viscerally get this. Kind of takes a whole lot of pressure away about, oh God, if I don't get this done in time. Anyway, that's more for an inside insight. That will be my next inside insight. I'm getting some huge downloads about time, and me and stuff that has limited me for years. It's really cool. So that's the 0 point field's point. We don't have to be separate from all of this because we are not separate from it right now. We're all in 5D and 3D right now, and all we need to do is understand that we can connect with it. And it's intimate. It's in every proton in your body right now, all the information you ever seek. And, a couple of weeks ago, we did the very first exercise, if you like. I still haven't found, I don't want to call it a meditation. I don't know what I want to call it. It was the first invitation to connect. And there will be more. I know there'll be more. So, that's the journey. So if you'd like to listen and participate, then come check me out on Patreon. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. I do appreciate you. Like and subscribe if you wish. And I look forward to sharing more with you next week. Until then. Big love. Bye-bye.